Madam Clerk, roll call. We have our board today, so everyone please vote for the roll call.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun and Commissioner Varga have asked for an excuse.
Thank you so much. Do we have a quorum?
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Timmy.
Okay, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Here today, we'll have our invocator introduced by Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman.
Good morning. It's my pleasure today to introduce to you Pastor Blanton L. Banks, a preacher, a teacher, and servant leader who enjoys dedicating his life to cultivating others so that they may reach their God-given potential in their personal, professional, and spiritual lives. In 2012, Pastor Blanton accepted his call to the ministry after attending Judah Tabernacle Bible Institute. Excuse me. Pastor Blanton is furthering his education at Ecumenical Theological Seminary School. On August 17, 2014, Elder Blanton L. Banks was called to preach the word of God at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. And on August 16, 2015, he was installed as their pastor. Since being pastor, he has reestablished Sunday school and Bible study ministries, as well as launched several new ministries. The Sisterhood of Good Shepherd outreach program as well as launched several new ministries. The Sisterhood of Good Shepherd outreach program to serve the community with bare essentials and feed the homeless and those who are in need. The outreach program also distributes back to school supplies for the neighborhood, for which I am one of his donors. On June 3rd, 2017, Pastor Banks graduated from Urban Ministry of School of Ecumenical Theological Seminary, which has helped him to gear him to pave the ground of surrounding community. He also has been instrumental in revitalizing the New Martin Park District Association. He received his Master of Arts in Pastoral Ministry degree at ETS in 2020. Pastor Blanton Banks and his lovely, kind, spirited wife, Lady Kimberly A. Banks, were united in holy matrimony on August 26, 1989. They are devoted parents to 4 wonderful sons, Blanton II, Breon, Brajan, and Blaylan, and have 1 beautiful granddaughter, Lila, and 2 handsome grandsons, Lawson and Legend. None of this, in quotes, none of this would be possible without blessings and favor from God and those who he has placed in my path to make these accomplishments achievable. Proverbs 16:3, commit thy works unto the Lord, and he will establish thy thoughts. And at this time, I would like to have First Lady stand for a second so we can recognize her. Thank you for being here. And Pastor Banks.
thank you, Commissioner. You caught me off guard. I didn't know you was gonna read all of that. That was surprising, but thank you anyway. First of all, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, to Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman, to the fellow Wayne County commissioners and this assembly. I do truly greet you all in the name of Jesus. I do thank Commissioner for asking me to take this moment of time to share with you all as we will have prayer. Let us pray. Most gracious and almighty, all-knowing Heavenly Father, we come today first giving you all honor and praise, thanking you for this day. And also teach us to rejoice and be glad in it. Now, Father, as we assemble this gather today, as we gather here to assemble in your sight, Lord, we ask that your divine favor and presence breathe afresh upon us, that your spirit may grant this commission assembly future guidance, future wisdom to facilitate the needs and concerns of their districts and surrounding communities. Lord, we ask that your spirit roam all throughout this place with peace, love, and unity so that we all may find a sense of inclusiveness to share your love. Now, Father, we ask that you help us to promote your presence in our daily tasks, our daily decisions, our daily passions, so that we might dismiss hate, prejudice, negativity, and despair, believing that your divine power will help us in our talents, our intellects, our minds, our loves to be part of your mission, a mission that exemplifies all members of one body to build a strong community. This prayer we duly ask in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, First Lady, for attending as well. Next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Palomero,
Move approval.
their support. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion on the correction, reading, and approval of the journal? Hearing none, please vote. Commissioner Clark Coleman?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Report from the chair.
Good morning again, everyone. Just a couple of things. One is, as we have our hot dogs and barbecue, let us not forget the reason for this weekend, which is Labor Day, and to support and remember the laborers who founded, supported, and built this country. It's very important that we acknowledge them. I know that several communities will have Labor Day parades. So I just ask that you share with your children, the young people in your life, to not only think of it as a holiday, but to remember why we're celebrating. This is to celebrate the work that our laborers, our unions, and all the people who did to build our great country. So please remember that as we go about this 3-day weekend. That's all that I have right now. And I'd like to go to page 11 on everyone's agenda. Page 11. Item number 1. I'm sorry, item number 2. If Mr. James Heath could come to the podium, please. Item number 2, Madam Clerk. Page 11, item number 2. Under new business.
Good morning, Madam Chair.
I'll have her read the squid first.
Requesting commission approval of the appointment of Asad Turk to the position of Deputy County Executive.
Thank you, Mr. Heath.
I'm anxious, Madam Chair.
That's okay.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the commission. I am honored to be here today, perhaps probably the easiest work in terms of presentation I've ever had to make before you. And before I get started, I want to thank Wayne County Executive Warren Evans for allowing me to be here today and to present the Assad Turfy as Deputy County Executive for this body's consideration. I want to apologize to Assad because by rank and title and right, Janelle Allen, our extremely wonderful Chief Operating Officer, should be the one presenting Assad today. So in her absence, I will do my best Janelle Allen impersonation. But I did bring backup with me. And so if you look behind me, you will see almost the entire executive leadership rank for Wayne County. We have directors, deputy directors, managers, and we are all here and they rise with me collectively to present a good man, a deserving man for the deputy county executive position. And if we are all not enough, Madam Chair, Assad was always the planner. He thought ahead and he brought in the big guns. His ex-wife Sarah is here with us today, as well as his wonderful son Abraham. And so we all collectively present Assad Turfy to you. You all know him well, and so I won't go on, but I will highlight a few things. Assad is a homegrown Wayne County public servant. He graduated in class 58 with distinguished honors in his academy class back in 2003 when he began as a deputy with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. He has risen through the ranks from sergeant all the way up to executive lieutenant. He has served this county and this county executive in a wonderful, wonderful fashion. When I came in July of 2008, Assad, I think the month or so before, had been named chief of staff. And in that capacity, he has taken on every major challenge this county has had to face, and he has been right by the side of our county executive. I don't have to tell any of you that. There's a couple different types of chiefs of staff. Some people focus on the word chief. Assad focused on staff. He always understood that his role was to not only take care of the employees and the people who do the work for Wayne County, but more importantly, the residents. He did not try to big himself up, as we say in my barbershop. He always remained a humble servant, someone who was approachable, someone who cared from day one about the work that all of us have had to do. He has been a leader in this capacity. And if you want to know what someone's going to do in the future, you look at what they've done in the past. And he has been someone that is a friend, not only to me and all the people who are here, but to the people of Wayne County. And he will do an outstanding job as deputy county executive. You know, it's always a good thing. You all make a lot of appointments and people get promoted every day. But when you have someone who's really been groomed from day one in this organization, it sends a message and it is cause for celebration. I'm glad we have a holiday weekend because we should celebrate the elevation of our friend Assad Turfy. He has always tried to better himself. And, you know, he's a proud graduate of Concordia University in Ann Arbor, but he's got more Harvard extension certificates and accomplishments than probably any of us deserve. He has been at the Harvard Business School in the Organizational Leadership and Young American Leaders Program. He has gotten a certificate in behavioral decision-making from the Harvard Extension School, and he's gotten a certificate in managing yourself and leading others. This is the man we need for this position, and I am so thankful that our county executive has presented him to you. And I ask my colleagues in the back who work with him to join me figuratively and literally in rising to present to you from my lips, through you to God's ears, the next deputy county executive for the county of Wayne, Assad Turfy.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And Assad, do you mind if we go through our formal procedure first?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Vice Chair Palomero?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I make the motion to approve Mr. Turfy, I would like to make this brief observation. For the first time since March of 2020, this chamber has its buzz back. It's full for the first time in 2.5 years, and nobody is happier than the 15 of us to see full participation in this commission chamber. Having said that, Madam Chair, what Mr. Heath just described is someone fulfilling the American dream. Rising nearly 20 years ago from an entry-level position here in Wayne County all the way up to Deputy County Executive is nothing short of amazing and something that we can all be very proud of. Having said that, I move to approve Assad Turfy as Deputy County Executive of Wayne County.
There's support. Supported by Commissioner Kinlock. Any discussion? Commissioner Kniezek.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was laughing for a second because when Mr. Heath said that you were class 58, I heard class of 58, and I said, damn, he looks good for 80. Candidly, Madam Chair, I mean, I've known Assad for a number of years now, and he is a phenomenal leader. And I joined in Mr. Heath and all those other gathered here today to celebrate his nomination for this position. I thank our county executive for such an outstanding nomination. And I think the beautiful thing for those 15 of us assembled here today is we know that not much is going to change. Assad has always been there for us. He's responsive, he's engaging, he shows up in the community. I can't tell you how many issues we've had just discrete to my district. And you lift your head up and Assad is right there hand in hand with you all, trying to move things forward on behalf of the community. So Assad, I wish you the best. I congratulate you. And I'm just so thrilled to see you in this new role.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to commend you on the work that you have done in Wayne County. Now, I haven't been here as long as you, and so you have the institutional knowledge, I think, that's needed for the position. The question I have, and just for clarity's sake, is what will you do as the new deputy county executive? What is your vision?
So my vision is very simple. 8 years ago, when we took over, when County Executive Warren Evans took over, we had a money problem. And today, it's a people problem. And it's not just for Wayne County, it's a national problem where we have a hard time finding people to work. I want to make this a place where for every Wayne County employee, when they wake up in the morning, I want them to wake up and love to come to work for Wayne County. And the byproduct of that is going to be great service to the constituents that we're ultimately serve.
And then my last question goes to the salary that you're being paid. I know we have our deputy going out, Khalil, right? And I was just looking at the salary rate of what he made.
He wasn't deputy.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay. His title was
Assistant.
okay. So and just comparing the two and looking at what he did and versus what you will do, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, that was the on even keel. So that answered the question. Thank you.
Any other discussion by members? Commissioner Hayes, Commissioner
Thank you,
Basham.
Madam the Chair. Well, congratulations, Assad. We very proud of your history and work for Wayne County and give it your best and whatever position you've been into. And what I really respect and like about you, the accessibility. You always answer the phone. You always try to work on solution wherever I have in contact with you for my district. And when I heard the news, I felt your quality, it well, perform well for the Wayne County at large, because you've been around for a while and you know the makeup and everything. So I want to congratulate you. Saying all that, I don't know if I'm going to vote yes. So no, but I respect the administration's decision because it's been approved in the past. They choose the right people for the right job with a good qualification. Congratulations.
Commissioner Basham, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Even though I was thinking about your vision, I know even though you're not wearing glasses, I know your vision is 2020, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kinlock.
I would like to say congratulations. And one thing that I often talk about is the role of elected officials as far as being accessible. That also includes appointed officials. And Assad is somebody that I personally know is available 24 hours a day, working on behalf of the citizens. Before I even knew whatever his title was, I was calling on him, asking him to assist residents in a number of different issues. And he's the type of person that doesn't assign it to somebody. He actually get to know the information and get it back to you in a timely fashion. That's even before this position. And one thing I said when I heard that he was going to be appointed to this position, I said, well, heck, he's already serving in that role. And so congratulations. And I know you're going to continue to do a great job. Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I have been calling on him as much as I have Khalil. So it will just be the same old thing. I'll just keep calling you. And you have answered the call. So thank you so much for all that you have done and that you will do, because I have a city that needs a lot of help, and you know that, and you've been there helping me. So please continue on. And so God bless you and congratulations. Thank you so much.
I do have a message. I'm sorry, Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assad, congratulations. I think that this is something well-deserved. You have been there, and you know, there's nothing quite like institutional knowledge in order to get things done. And you do possess that. So I think that you will be an asset to the county exec's office. And I would like to, again, extend my congratulations to you as a person who, no matter what the subject matter is that's brought up to you, you're always smiling. I don't know what's behind that smile, but whatever the matter is, he always greets it with a smile. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And we do have on the chat, Janelle Allen is online, and she put something in the chat, and I'll read it. For those of you who don't know, she had a foot surgery, so she's not able to move around. So she says, good morning, all. I am dismayed to not be able to be here in person to participate this morning due to my broken right foot. I'm even more elated for the appointment of my longstanding colleague, Assad Turfy, as Deputy County Executive. James Heath did an excellent job impersonating me with the introduction of Assad. I could not have made the introduction better. I'm excited to continue working with Assad and all of our team to continue to move the county onward and upward. Congratulations to Assad on this well-deserved appointment. Janelle Allen, COO, Office of the Wayne County Executive. Thank you, Janelle. But I want to read that since she wasn't able to be here in person as she would have liked to. Hearing no other comments from my colleagues, I'll just say on a personal note, back a year or so ago when we had our floods, it was heartwarming that Assad came to my house personally and brought a friend and a pump to get the water out of my basement. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And I certainly and truly appreciate that, because that just shows the kind of person that he is, that he's always there for all of the citizens of Wayne County. James did an excellent introduction. You are certainly well-deserved of this honor. And without further ado, please vote.
Carries.
Motion carries. Now you can give your acceptance speech, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Vice Chair Palomero. Thank you to the Wayne County Commission body. Thank you to our staff that's here today. Thank you to our Wayne County Executive for entrusting me in this role. I can tell you will not be disappointed. I'm very proud of the fact, I know it was mentioned earlier, that I started off as an entry-level employee and worked my way up. And I remember 20 years ago, I came downtown and I couldn't afford the parking, so I took the bus downtown and I came to 600 Randolph, the old county building. And I applied for a job, and 2 months later, I'm sitting in a jailer's training class at the sheriff's office. And from there, I never even knew what I wanted to do really in life. Honestly, growing up, I wanted to be an architect. And, you know, I definitely came here. I knew I wanted to help people. And I'm very proud of the fact that I worked my way up. And, you know, I mentioned it earlier. I really think that, you know, we're definitely in a competitive market. We're competing for talent all over the place. And, you know, one of my biggest fears when I look down the road is that we're not going to have enough people to do the jobs that we're mandated to do. And you got my commitment that I want to make this place a place where every one of the county employees that work across the county, from entry level all the way up, we really want to build a place that when they wake up in the morning, we don't want them just to show up to a job. We want them to show up to a career that they love. And that's the vision. And it's simple, it's right to the point. And with that, if you got employees that are happy and love their job, they're going to ultimately serve the constituents with that same love. And that's what we want to build. And I appreciate every one of you. I'm really humbled by the words. I'm humbled by the words of James Heath. Janelle, I know Janelle's watching. I've had some great colleagues that I've worked with. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot over the years. I have an open mind. I'm not attached to any decision, you know, and if I learn new information, I evaluate that in the decision. I think that's important in leadership. And, you know, I definitely look forward to this. I look forward to our great working relationship. Always know that you know, when I say I have an open door policy, I really mean it. And, you know, you call me, call and text me is the best way to get a hold of me. And I always tell that to everybody. And if you call me in the morning or call me at night or at 3 o'clock in the morning, know one thing, if you call, I will answer and I will show up. So thank you again. And I'm very humbled by the words, and I hope I can continue to make you all proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Deputy County Executive. I'm glad your son is here because I'm sure you're making him proud. Oh, look at that. Awesome. And when I came in, I wondered why all these people were here. I was like, what's going on? So now everybody can get back to work. Okay, so now I'd like to go back, Madam Clerk, to page 2.
We're on unfinished business. There is none listed.
Next item.
We're moving to offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are none listed.
Next item.
Next item is reports for committees. The report from Public Services is listed on pages 2 through 5.
Thank you. And to note to our listening audience on Zoom and those who are visitors in the chambers, we operate under a committee format. So all of the items are vetted thoroughly in our committee and they come to this meeting, our full board meeting for final disposition. Reports from Public Services, Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to receive and file items 1 and 2 and move for approval items 3 through 12, with Commissioner Haddis being the maker of item 12.
6194. Okay, it's been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Discussion. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If the chair of the committee is willing, I'd like to be the sponsor of number 8, which is a project in my community.
Sure.
Further discussion on the public services report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carried. I have Commissioner Hadis as the makers of 8 and 12, and Commissioner Anderson is 7 and 12, and Commissioner Anderson is 8.
Next item.
Page 5 of the agenda on the Committee on Ways and Means is listed on pages 5 through 7.
Commissioner Scott?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. I move that we receive and file item number 1 and item number 2, item 3 through 9. I'd like to have a support.
Moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Anderson. Ways and Means Report, receive and file 1 and 2, approval of items 3 through 9. Any discussion on the report? Any discussion on the Ways and Means Report? Hearing none, please vote. Commissioner Anderson. Thank you. Next item, please.
On Report C, Committee on Health and Human Services, there's one item.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move approval, item number 1.
Moved and supported for item number 1 on the Health and Human Services Committee report. Any discussion on that item?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Knizik,
I'd like to abstain on item 1.
duly noted. Any discussion on that item? Hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Next item,
On Report D, Committee on Audit,
Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have one item to, a move to receive and file.
Supported by Commissioner Hados. Any discussion on the report from the Audit Committee? Please vote. Thank you. Next item.
Report E, Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There's one item.
Commissioner Clark Holman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of item number 1.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion on this item? Any discussion? Please vote. Next item, please.
Page 8 on the Committee on Government Operations. Items are listed on pages 8 through 10.
Commissioner Dobb.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move items 1 and 2 for receive and file, and items number 2 through 9 for approval. And I'd also like to note on item number 6 that we did receive the letter of letter for oh my gosh, what's the word? Yeah, the letter from Miss Dawn Lee Cotton, withdrawing from the board.
Ordered by Commissioner Hados. Any discussion on the government operations report? Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On number 5, with the recommendation of the appointment of Angela Jaffer, I just wanted to note that she is in the audience today. So where are you, Angela?
Oh, hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Zoo Authority Board. In addition, Mr. Brady Muhammad is in the audience as well. Go ahead, stand, Stephen. And that's for number 6 to the Arts Authority Board. Welcome to the board, sir. And just for clarification, number 2 on the report is for approval and not receive and file. The only receive and file is number 1 on the GovOps report. Number 2 is for approval as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to revise my motion?
No, but
Okay,
I just did it, so it's fine.
thank you.
Okay, all right. Any discussion on the report? Further discussion on report? Please vote.
Madam Chair,
Yes. Yes.
I know you didn't see me, I have my red light on, but I'll be a no vote on 7 and 8.
No on 7 and 8? Okay, duly noted by the clerk. Basham, a no on 7 and 8. Thank you.
Motion carries.
All right, next item, please.
We're on page 10, upcoming meetings.
Everyone, please note the upcoming meetings for next week. Commissioner Dobb?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to postpone the Committee on Government Operations for next week.
GovOps is postponed for Wednesday, September 7th. Commissioner Basham?
Yeah, I did push a button, but maybe it was late. Oh, now it shows up. Thank you.
Oh, okay, we got you. Are there any changes to upcoming meetings? Please let the clerk know. Next item.
On page 11, new business, items 1, 3 through 5 are 3 through 5 are listed on the agenda.
Let's go to number 1 on page 11.
Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of modification number 4 to a collective bargaining agreement.
Move approval.
Been moved, their support?
Support.
Okay, who's here to speak to this item? It's a new business item. New business items have not gone to the committees yet, were requested to be discussed at the full board meeting. Your name and title for the record, sir.
Morning, Madam Chair. Matthew Carmona, Interim Director of Labor Relations for Wayne County.
All right, number 1 is the collective bargaining agreement for the government GAA unit. Can you speak to that, please?
Correct, ma'am. So this is a negotiation for a successor of an extension of the agreement. And as we've been trying to do for the past years, address wages amongst the employees. Generally speaking, this agreement calls for an 8% increase to the base salary for the majority of GAA members. There is a slight carve out because when we began this process about a year ago, we started by targeting specific positions that we deemed were in either grossly out of market or had problems filling. Some of those positions fell within GAA. So in order of fairness for everybody throughout that bargaining unit, we did not want to put another adjustment on top of one had been done for some of those groups so soon. So that's where that carve out is that you see, I think, in B right there. However, if someone's prior adjustment within the stated time period did not reach the 8% that everybody's getting now, we also didn't want to penalize those people. So an adjustment will be made to bring them up to what would have been the 8%. This also extends the agreement for 2 years. There was another increase, 2.5% October 1, 2022, and a 2.5% increase on October 1, 2023. And then finally, we have agreed that if the salary plan, if somebody's pay goes above the maximum in the salary plan by virtue of these raises, that they won't be capped by the max. However, if the salary plan is adjusted between subsequent to this approval, they would be limited by the new max. And that is the agreement in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Ricky?
Madam Chair, do you know what the total amount of the monies are for this increase?
I do. Just give me one moment. So for the first part of the increase, we're looking at about $488,000. And then the 2.5 coming up after that is $386,000. Excuse me, $386,000.
Thank you.
Lee?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Any changes to the benefit plan in this contract?
No, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Baker McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. How many employees will receive an increase or approximately?
Approximately. This unit has approximately 250 employees in it.
And what area to 200?
GAA, that covers employees throughout the county and all of the departments and elected offices. It's the Government Administrators Association, and they are the sort of first line managers, supervisors, managers, and administrators that make up the bulk of this unit. There are a couple in professional engineers who are in this unit. I believe they're in the treasurer's office, if memory serves correctly.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Is there a motion?
I move.
And I supported it.
Please vote. Clerk Coleman?
Carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, next item, let's go to the addenda A3.
Item number 3, requesting commission approval of a cooperative purchase and maintenance service agreements with Canon Solutions America.
Okay, Tony, go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants, and Community Relations for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. First of all, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy wanted to thank the Chair and the Commission for immediate consideration on this particular purchase. The reason for the delay, unfortunately, was we had a little problem because the procurement director was actually out of the country. And the reason for bringing this to you today is we must expend these funds by September 30th. One thing we're very, very happy about, most of the commission may recall, a few years back, our multi-function devices at the prosecutor's office were breaking down every day and were so old that we couldn't even get a service contract on them. This is a cooperative purchase through Omnia Partners, and the purchase includes 5 years of maintenance so that these multi-function devices should not cost us a penny beyond the purchase price during that 5-year period. So we would ask, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but we would ask approval.
There a motion?
So move.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
Chair. Thank you. Just, Tony, I just wondered, were these in the 22 budget year? Were they in the?
Correct, sir.
These are already
Yes.
been approved as part of
That's
the
the
budget?
main reason that we have to expend the funds by the end
Right.
of this, actually the end of this month.
Right.
Because it's part of the 2022 budget.
All right, thank you.
Any additional questions? Okay, please vote.
Thank you.
Carries.
Thank Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is item number 4, requesting commission approval of amendment number 1, 2, and a reinstatement of a 5-year lease agreement with a 5-year option to renew with 400 Monroe Limited Partnership.
Who's speaking to this item?
Yeah, can you hear?
Good morning to the chair
Name and,
and vice chair and commissioners.
Thank you,
This
sir.
is Daryl Jones from Buildings Division. I'm here to speak on this.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Primarily, this is a first amendment of a contract that we have with 400 Monroe. This is the extension for the clerk's office to take over the entire 6th floor and corp counsel to move down to the 2nd floor.
So the 6th floor would be all of the clerk's office,
Yes, ma'am.
and then the 2nd floor
Will be corp counsel.
with additional space for corp counsel, or they're
They're
moving?
relocating their space to the 2nd floor in order for the clerk to handle the 6th floor.
Okay. Any questions on this item? Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good
So
morning.
what divisions of the clerk's office will be on that floor?
It's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's going to be some of the probationary offices from KMAC. I think also they're going to be moving over the license bureau into that floor, and I'm not sure where they actually also.
So elections will still be at KMAC?
Yes.
Okay.
Dwayne, you want to come answer that question?
Hi there, how you doing? Dwayne, City Deputy Clerk. Yes, we're moving the vital records over to 400 Monroe. So all the license, birth certificates, death certificates, marriage license, anything that you need now, you don't have to ask if we're in Detroit or if you're in Wayne County. You ask for Detroit, you need to go to 400 Monroe. And if you're just in Wayne County, you go to KMAC. We're trying to consolidate everything in one area. Yet court services will still be at KMAC.
And that's a CPL licenses as well over at 400 Monroe?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, but the clerk services will still be at KMAC?
Yes, court services will still be at KMAC.
All right. Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Believe it or not, there's a whole lot of folks that do not live in the city of Detroit. And they really relied on Henry Ruff to go to the clerk's office for CPL and other things. Is that still going to be functional?
Yes, I've spoke with the clerk on that matter as far as the satellite office we've had out there. The issue now is pretty much staffing. Once we get staffing together, we'll be able to restaff that area again.
But there will be some staff there?
Not at the moment, no.
So we're going to take care of the folks that go in the city, but I get a lot of calls from the suburbs. CW Conference of West Wayne, Downriver Community Conference. So I'm only one of 15 commissioners, but it's important. People can't get their CPL. People have trouble with the marriage license, all sorts of other things. And they really rely on Henry Ruff. Plus, we as a county, I feel guilty about this. If you go there and look at Henry Ruff, we have not put anything back. And I don't want to certainly beat you up, you're too big. But the thing of it is we need to take care of Henry Ruff and the people that live outside the city of Detroit. It's just not anti-Detroit. It's about taking care of folks that live outside.
Commissioner Bassam, yes, the clerk is very aware of the situation there. In fact, she's come before this body a few times looking for staff help. She's talked with M&B personnel. We've looked at getting contracts, getting extra employees. As you know, we're down. I think she sends each one of you a daily or weekly update as far as our staffing. We're down about 75 individuals as of today. That number fluctuates, sometimes it's up as high as 100. So as soon as we get individuals in, we're doing everything we can to get individuals in, get them trained, and hopefully they will eventually become county employees as well. So we can actually open that office up.
Well, but in my opinion, though, it's like put one or two there anyway. And I mean, we really do absolutely need people at Henry Ruff. Thank you.
I will present that to the clerk.
Thank you. I don't know if these going to be Dwayne, just stay there just in case. I have a list. Commissioner Baker, McCormick, Katos, Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am happy that you're consolidating in one area at the clerk's office. But to Mr. Jones, as far as the list of county-owned buildings, I think I asked you about that before. Don't know if you have that together yet, but I think as we look at consolidating other areas, we're having some issues with the courts and the juvenile departments, family divisions, and things of that nature. If we had a working list of possible locations where we could consolidate other departments, I think that would be helpful to all of us to maybe come up with some other alternatives. And the other thing I wanted to ask about is the parking garage. The parking spots that are now currently available. I know that they aren't all being used. And I was again thinking that maybe some of the parking could be used for the employees if we knew how many spaces aren't being utilized. So
let's take the question number 2. We're talking about parking. Can you be precise in telling me what parking areas that we're talking about? Which location?
which location? The
First Street?
Right, no,
Okay.
the one right across the street.
Buell,
Right.
I don't think we have anything to do with the Buell.
we
have the
don't
first-
own Buell.
Oh,
Yeah, we do the first. First
Yeah,
Street
the
parking
First
garage.
Street, that, yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes, First Street parking garage is primarily for the Guardian employees. That's what we use that for. We have multiple spaces still left. Of course, of the pandemic, there's a lot of people that haven't come back to work, but there's an excessive amount of space. And I think you may also be referring to, we're in the process of evaluating a lot of properties, which we did talk about that, I think, during the
Yes.
budget meeting. We have 28 sites of buildings that we actually participate with. I believe we're talking about more or less the parking areas for individuals that will probably be moving from Lincoln Hall Justice over to the Penobscot building. We're in the process of evaluating that for certain moves, and we do have available spots for them.
But for other employees, because I think if we provided parking, we might be able to attract employees. So
That is the course. For any small municipalities that we have in the area, we do provide parking for them. It would be at First Street Garage.
But no other departments.
Not at this point.
Thank you.
And then you had another question prior to that.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I thought you had a question prior to the parking issue.
I was just referring to the consolidation of.
Yes, and we will get that list. for you
Into other
as
buildings.
we talking about the property analysis sheet.
Thank you.
Any other
Thank
questions?
you. Commissioner Hayes?
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I just go back to my colleague's remark, Commissioner Basham, and the issue of the services from Wayne County to the western side of the county. It's been a concern of mine because I use the service on Hunter a few times. And I walk into the place and the space, it's very small. They have more boxes. The staff have to go between the boxes to be able to serve us. Wasn't a good working condition. And the sheriff department occupy the other side, the building, which it need a lot of repair. And if Wayne County put vision on the table to work through, demolish that building and build Wayne County satellite building that housed the sheriff and Wayne County clerk and other services from Wayne County, because it's somebody who live on the end in my district and Huron Township and Van Buren. It take all day to come downtown, and sometimes the parking became very expensive, and a lot of people can't afford the $20 a day parking. So long as this item was discussed and mentioned, I would like to see if our message as a commissioner altogether to look to the future of the administration and the commission could think about we have enough space. They demolished the building next door to it. If they could put Wayne County Services satellite building that house, the clerk's office, the sheriff, and some other, if we need, instead of leasing or make it difficult for people to come and do something minimum. You know, sometime you have a like marriage certificate or death certificate or all those kind of things. So it's very important to the public to have services without complication and easy way. So I hope this message would go to the administration is to think about a new facility on Henry Ruff.
Thank you. That's a great message between you and Commissioner Basham, because we do need to have satellite offices throughout Wayne County. And with technology, we are in 2022, we should be able to perform some services without coming downtown. And of course, staffing, I know is an issue. So once we address the staffing issue, I hope that will be on the vision to look at satellite offices and having the technology so people can just, even if we have a space in a other municipal building, if the City Hall of Van Buren, just throwing that out there, had a space, you know, or Brownstown or somewhere that had space, we could have an office to do some of the stuff that you don't have to come downtown for. So hopefully that's something that we can talk about in a strategic plan moving forward for the next 5 years, once we get our staffing levels to where we can accommodate that. I have a list, Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is just for my own information. And we did have a satellite office in the city of the Northville Township building at one point. And we did talk about this during budget talks a couple weeks ago with the clerk. How long has the Haggerty office been closed?
Commissioner, I'll have to find out.
Dwayne, do you know? Is Dwayne still here? And I know through COVID, and I will say, even now when I'm getting CPL, the clerk's office has been very helpful. So I really appreciate that. I mean, I get an answer back immediately. So I really appreciate that. But how long has that office been closed?
Through the chair, Commissioner Racki, I'm not really for sure exactly how long. I know it's been closed for at least over 4 years.
4 years, okay.
At least.
And isn't there a parking lot or a parking lot issue? Is that the place where it's all messed up?
Again, that was before my time as deputy clerk though, but I've heard discussion. There was an issue out there, not for exactly what the issue, but I think it was Northville who asked us to vacate the offices.
Yeah, but I totally agree with my colleagues. We need some satellites out there. Thank you.
Anderson?
Thank you. I hate to be an add-on to all the discussions going on, but it is something that I hear a lot of complaints about, especially people that are disabled, that are able, the difficulty of driving downtown, finding parking, and then getting from their car to even the 400 Monroe is a real issue to them. There's lots of, I'm sure there's lots of space that in the short term, an arrangement could be made with either the city of Wayne or within the city of Westland or one of the Western communities to find some space temporarily until we get a new building built ourselves, if it's a new building, or convert an existing building after we purchase it. I am concerned in the same breath. I am still concerned about buying, leasing more space when we're going to have a number of vacant offices in KMAC that we are not going to be, we're going to be responsible to pay for, whether we use them or not. And I hope that we'll see something from your office or from the administration soon, what the plans are. Once we vacate all that space in the KMAC building that we're still going to have to pay for, what are we going to do to get this balanced again? Because it seems we're getting way out of balance as far as leasing and then having vacancies in buildings that the county owns. So that's a concern that I have because it's going to be a greater expense once we vacate those and take up this additional space. So, but the out county satellite office and facility for CPLs, for the sheriff's department to have a presence out there to be able to move quicker to get to something that needs attention is very important. I'd like to see some type of a plan, within the next year or so for us to see what is being considered. That's all.
Commissioner Anderson, if I may speak, I will allow Dwayne to talk about the expansion of KMAX as far as the area that's vacant, and then I'll speak on what Commissioner Maricki asked about, and Commissioner Haddis also for the satellite. Yeah, for the satellites, and tell you exactly what the plan is for that, and then I'll discuss that. I'll let Dwayne finish, and then I'll talk.
Thank you.
As far as the KMAC, we will actually utilize some of the offices, some of the spaces. As you know, that we are cramped at KMAC. So we'll be utilizing some of the space to kind of spread out so that way individuals, citizens can come in and not be as cramped or crowded. However, as far as the building itself, that's something that the administration will have to decide. I know that the Wayne County Clerk is concerned about making sure there's adequate space for citizens when they come in and get these licenses and vital services. So she's concerned about the citizens, but as far as the space for the building, I think that's the administration will have to answer that for you.
So the process, what we're doing as far as the Henry Ruff location, it's going to take about $9 million in order to do any renovations to that. The building currently sells for probably about $1 million, and that's even including the land at the space. So it is a satellite dish area for the clerk's office. We're in the process of investigating where we're going to move that location to, and we do understand that we must find a location for these properties. We're in the process of researching properties. We do have 2 properties that we're investigating now, and hopefully we'll be taking it back to the commission board and asking for the approval.
Go ahead, Daryl, finish your thought.
Okay. So also, Commissioner Ricketts, that other location was closed during the pandemic. And hasn't reopened since then, based on staffing.
Commissioner Basham had to follow up.
Yeah, well, I heard you mention that we're going to move that location. Well, first of all, I don't want necessarily a location in my district, but it should be in central out county. So Henry Ruff is that position. Also, relative to the sheriff's department, we talk about moving it. It's close to Hines Drive, so it's centrally located. They work all over the county, but quite frankly, it's close to the parks. I live in Taylor, but I'm okay with it being there because it gives everybody outside the city of Detroit access. There's another location, and I'm for fixing Henry Ruff, but the Wayne County bought a huge building in Southgate, right by 75, which is right off the freeway. And it's a huge building. And rather than go and purchase another buildings, we need to make sure it's centrally located, number one. I don't want to kill a messenger. And before we talk about moving, we need to talk about fixing up what we currently have or making it somewhat accessible for folks that, to save the taxpayers some money. Plus, we need to maintain those buildings. Henry Ruff is terrible. They have a gun range in Henry Ruff. There was a raccoon that was in the roof for about 2 weeks before they removed it. I mean, I can go on. And the thing of it is, and I don't want to do that at this meeting, but we need to take care of our existing facilities, and we need to man them. So I quit.
Thank you. Commissioner Hayes, you had a follow-up?
We own the property in Henry Ruff. Doesn't make sense to me why we want to purchase property somewhere else. It's a very large piece of property, the land around it, and I think it makes a lot of sense to demolish that building and build a new facility that addresses all the need for the citizen from Wayne County clerk, prosecutor, whatever we need satellite for to design it and put it and put parking. I could see the site. It's a beautiful, easy access, Michigan Avenue, almost to split the county. Good traffic flow. I didn't see any reason why we should move that. I see a lot of good reason why we should demolish and build building that address all the need of the services.
One of the reasons we're doing is when we're surveying the areas, it's not in the inner city of the Detroit area or downtown area. We are looking at the areas outside of the city of Detroit city zone. To answer your question about the demolishing of that building, that would take a time to do, and roughly we're talking $9 million and then additional costs that it would cost in order to save that building. If we demolish that building, there's additional costs from there, and the location of that building would have to be there, but it would take a time to get that up, probably 3 to 4 years before that would be in construction completion.
You know, I respect your opinion, but everything we do as a government, wherever local municipality, county, state, costs money. That is the bottom line. And the money, it's the people's tax dollar. If we spend it to provide them with the services with convenience and simplicity, it's mean we're doing our job. Cost, the demolition and the engineering and design, I know it take time, but always it take time depend on how fast we want it and how much effort we put to accomplish what we need. I'm a person who really am not afraid to tackle with issue. And if it's gonna cost us a few dollars more for long-term solution, so be it. So I really don't wanna hear too much excuses on the cost and that. We wanna look, how can we make Wayne County services better than what we have it last year and this year? So that it's my focus on that. I believe demolish the building, it's easy. You could hire a contractor. Yes, it's gonna cost a few dollars. Engineering and design to fit all Wayne County services, that should be studied and done and then build it. So costing money, definitely. Probably, like you said, from 9 to 15 million to $20 million. But in the long term, you serve a big portion. And the importance of that location, it's only 3-4 minutes from the largest airport almost in the Midwest. We serve almost 40 million travelers a year. Access to the major highway, 94, 275. I mean, the location, I could mention too many reasons why it's a strong location. I'm not promoting now location, but I'm promoting we need to make the services for Wayne County resident easier. Simple as that.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll take this issue future because this is an issue that we can go on and on about. We'll probably have to dedicate some time to really talk about what it looks like and work with administration on a plan that we can all agree with going forward. But right now, I'd like to take the vote on item number 4.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Is it about voting on this item?
It is about this item.
It's about the 400 Monroe.
It is.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
The elections department, will they remain at the KMAC or will the elections department be moved over to 400 Monroe? The election division, I should say.
The chair, Commissioner Kunrak. Sorry, I wasn't know. Your question is that will the elections department move, division move? The answer is no. They will still be at KMAC, from my understanding.
Thank you.
Just the voter records will go over to 400 Monroe. All of the records, licenses, CPL, marriage license, death certificates, correct? Will go to 400 Monroe.
So the processing, or will the storage still be at the Vigalotti building as well?
Yes, you know, I'm trying to go back and I'm not quite, let me back up a few seconds. Well, this is very different being on this side. I've usually been over there for 12 years, now I'm over here. So, I'm gonna need to check that out to make sure. My understanding is that the election will stay at KMAC, but let me just double check that to be sure, and I'll have that sent over to you this afternoon.
Okay, Commissioner Khalil.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Will this additional office space at 400 Monroe, will this shorten any of the times for people seeking services out of the Wayne County Clerk's office? Like, will CPL licenses move quicker? Will wedding licenses move quicker as a result of this move?
That is the purpose, Commissioner King, is to expand the office in order to make it a faster operating.
So those service times we anticipate are going to be coming down.
That is the anticipation for that. Commissioner Clark, you had asked about the Vigilati building. It's also used for record detention for all the end users and all the Wayne County providers that supply documents there. So it's an additional use for there, and that will continue to be used as such.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. We don't have a motion? God, dog, the last time we had a motion. No, okay. Moved by Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman, supported by Commissioner Hados. Scared to ask for further discussion. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, Mr.
Item number 5 is requesting commission approval of a food and beverage concession agreement with A&A Deli doing business as Birmingham Deli.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Been moved. Their support? Who's here to speak to this item?
On this item.
Okay.
Good morning, Carter Fisher, Associate Corporation Counsel. So this item is, as read, a concession agreement for the new Criminal Justice Center. It's our public-facing food and beverage concession that will also serve our employees there at the courts, the clerk's office, sheriffs, and members of the public who are coming down to conduct business at the Criminal Justice Center. It's a 10-year contract. It's with the current vendor that does these services at the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. He'll be paying us the greater of either $24,000 a year or 10% of his gross sales.
Discussion on this item. Commissioner Marecki?
I'm just wondering why this is coming to us now and it didn't go into committee. Is there a time?
There is a little bit of a time crunch, but also with most of our CJC contracts, they're now coming straight to full board. But he is going to do some build out in the area. So we do want to get him rolling quickly to get permits and get going before the building is open to the public.
And to answer your question, additionally, Commissioner Marecki, the timing was the factor. That's why I didn't go to committee. Normally these would go to committee, but it's a time factor to get the, that was presented to us was the construction needed to begin. And they want to do that relatively quickly. That's why it came straight here to full board.
Okay, thank you.
Basham?
When the flags go up, when I see it says cooperative purchase agreement versus bid contract. So I struggle with the sole source, retroactive, and also cooperative purchase. So, and if you bid it out, and also there's ways, my deal doesn't hurt us, those sorts of things. So I'm going to abstain on number 3. Thank you.
5. Number 5, Commissioner.
On number 3, I'm sorry. Never mind.
We're on number 5, Commissioner.
I'm sorry.
The A and the deli, that will be at the new criminal justice complex. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Madam Chair. So did you say the annual, and from what I'm reading here is the annual gross sales of 24,000 or the rents, I guess. Where did the 24,000 come from? I mean, how did you
So that's our minimum rent, and that's the same as what he's currently paying at Frank Murphy.
Okay, but this will be for 10 years?
It'll be, right, it's a 10-year contract.
Okay, and there's no gradual or graduation of possible increases, or because that means 24,000 for 10 years, and it's been, how long has this contract been?
So he's been at Frank Murphy for about 7 years now.
Okay.
But the main area that we would hope to see increases in is actually that 10% of gross sales. So if his sales go up at the CJC, we would get more than $24,000.
So where did we get why are we at 24,000? Are we looking at average rents, or how did you come up with the number?
24,000 is just the number that we had agreed to when we first considered this at Frank Murphy. And then that's just the floor. Contingent on how much he makes, we're hoping that he will be paying more than this. But, you know, with the last few years in terms of COVID and things like that, 24,000 has been the floor.
Okay. Do we know if it's ever been over or under 20?
Never been under 24,000. Okay. The last year that we have full data for, his sales were about $209,000, but we're anticipating that those numbers should go up with the CJC and serving a bigger population.
Thank you.
Dabo?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, on page 2 of 3 of the fiscal report, it does show what annual gross sales and what 10% of gross sales would be as compared to the minimum $24,000 concession. So that data is available in the packet. It shows the sales, the average concession fee from 2014 to 2019, and that's pre-pandemic, would have been 24,220. There was a period where it was below in 2018. It would have been 22,000. In 2019, it would have been 21,000. So it would have been bumped up to the $24,000 minimum in those years.
Thank you.
Mr. Kinlock?
Yes, we went on tour of the CJC a couple of weeks ago, and I remember them pointing out the area where this, operations would go. I specifically asked the reason why, because they told us they'll be bringing this contract before us because they want to they're the current contractee, and they wanted to transition it into the new facility without interruption. But I asked, why wasn't it out for bid? They said it would be going out for bid. Is this contract for 10 years? Is this an amendment to the contract that's adding on more time? Or is this consistent with the inclusive of the period that I'm saying that they're moving over there? Will it expire within what time frame? I'm asking it for clarity.
Sure. So this contract did actually go out to bid. This is separate from his current facility. It is not an amendment to his current contract at Frank Murphy. His contract at Frank Murphy will be terminated once Frank Murphy is closed, and then the 10-year period will begin once his concession opens at the CJC.
I'm remembering now because I asked about the concession piece. This is something separate. This here was the one where they were the only ones who had bid it for this contract.
He was the only truly responsive bidder.
Correct. Yeah, right. So okay, I got it. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Carter, I just wanted to ask you a quick question about the what they're providing. Is there a clause in there that there will be some input by the county, by the courts, by the occupants, or as far as what items are going to be offered to people that are coming there as well? It sounds like that are they going to be doing the food for those that are being held in the jail?
They're not going to be doing the.
Okay, it's going to be totally separate. This is going to be for employees and visitors.
Correct.
Okay. So how is that going to be handled? Is there going to be an evaluation of that, or is there any clause at all that deals with that?
There's not a clause that directly pertains to the county's control over his menu. He did submit sample menus to us. We know it's going to be a full menu, including cooked items. It's actually greatly expanded versus what's
Hot foods.
offered at, right, hot foods versus what's offered at Frank Murphy. And so he has given us a sample menu. We also have a provision in there where we compare his menu to other similarly situated concessions, their prices, their menu items as well. So we will have some oversight of that, and we do maintain a review system with the folks over there who use the deli.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Any additional questions, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Just to clarify, is there an out clause then? Are you saying if we're not satisfied with the, because this is a 10-year contract, if we're not satisfied with the services, then what?
So we can terminate the contract for either for cause or for convenience.
Thank you.
Additional questions on this item? Okay, please vote. Thank you. Let's go back to page 11.
On page 11, testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation are listed on pages 11 and 12.
Support.
Moved and supported. Please vote. Oh, discussion, sorry, discussion. And Commissioner Clark Coleman's name is added to number 8. It was, both of our names were put on there. It just didn't make the agenda.
You know that that's where I was going.
Exactly. Both of our names are on that resolution.
Alpha Rho Omega is my chapter of the AKA.
Yes, it is.
So I was just.
Wait, stop. Commissioner Scott.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. So I am very pleased to know that my name is added on to, and I'm very happy that you're honoring my chapter of the AKAs. That's number 1. Number 2, item number 7, Kathleen Strauss. For those of us who have known this young lady, she served as a member of the Michigan State Board of Education from 1993 to 2016. She has been continuously involved in civil organizations as well as civil rights. She's an activist, one that, by the way, lives in my district. She moved to Detroit in 1952, I think. And she has been continually living in my district in Detroit. This young lady is 98 years of age. And so she's being honored, and I was asked to present a tribute or a resolution on her behalf. So it was my pleasure.
Awesome. 98 years young.
Yes.
Very good.
And she's still as spry as ever.
Awesome. Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would also like to be added to number 7. I have known Kathleen Strauss for a long time, and we are members of the Detroit Women's Association, and we meet at the Whitney once a month. And it's an annual meeting of women from all over. And also, I would like to put a number 10 down. Peace Baptist Church, 101 years old at Goddard and Davison. And they had a wonderful fair at the Yacht Club on Sunday that I attended. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we did a resolutions already.
Okay, very
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner. Commissioner Anderson?
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask the Commissioner Coleman if it's not too late already, I'd like to be added to Kathleen Strauss's resolution. I knew her when I was in the legislature, when she was still on the school board. And what an incredible lady. She was just full of energy, even at that age. And I can imagine she's the same as she was at that time. And she was always a very enlightened person to talk to. And I really appreciate having had the opportunity to get to know her. But thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Can I be added to item number 9? Fabulous First Fridays. Thank you.
Sure. Add Commissioner Baker McCormick. Okay, any
I'd like to be added to item number 7.
7? Okay. Clerk will note. Additional comments, discussion on item B, testimony, resolutions, and certificates of appreciation. Do we have a motion, Madam Clerk?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Please vote. Okay, next item.
Memoriams. There are 8 names listed.
8 listed. Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just like to note number 7, in memory of Harry Tadigan, who was longtime city attorney in Livonia. And I'd like to add on Commissioner Knizik's name and Commissioner Anderson's name onto that.
Haters?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Friend of mine and a friend of Commissioner Anderson too. And she was the mayor pro tem with me in the city of Wayne. And she was the director of the Chamber of Commerce in the city of Wayne for more than 28 years. Donna McEachran. She passed away last week, and she be missed by too many friends, and we have too many stories to tell each other about her. Very successful person, excellent public service person. She will be missed. She's been fighting with the cancer for last 15 to 16 years, and she passed away last week. My sympathy go to her family, and I hope you all give her some of the prayer for the good service she provide the citizen of the city of Wayne. Thank you.
I appreciate that, the opportunity. I remember sitting here thinking about the number of parades that Wayne and Westland would do jointly, I believe for Veterans Day and we would, or Memorial Day, one or the other, and Donna walking in those parades with us, that she never missed one. She was just an outstanding public servant. She really was, and I respected her and called her a friend. But thank you.
Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Kinlock, if I can be added to Zanae's Gibson's item 3, her memoriam. She was just a really special lady, jazzy. This is Ernest Johnson's sister, good friend. Also, I just want to send out prayers to all of those lives that were lost this past week to gun violence all over the country, but in particular in Northwest Detroit, we lost people to senseless violence, and we really have to work on these issues of mental health and gun violence. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Okay, hearing none, if everyone in the chambers could please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. And we send our condolences to all the families who have lost family members and friends over the last 2 weeks. Next item, Madam Clerk.
We're on public comments. I did receive a couple of emails.
Okay, let's go. Anyone in the chambers for public comments? Anyone in the chambers, any cards? Or anyone in the chambers can come to have a card? Go ahead. 2 cards?
I have one.
2 minutes, please. Go ahead.
Morning, Madam Chairman and this honorable board. I'm Cassandra McDonald. I'm the president of GAA General Fund Chapter. And on behalf of our association president, Margaret Keys Howard, association director, David Skillman, and assistant director, Patricia Pena, we'd like to say thank you guys for always supporting us and voting today to approve the item of economics of our CBA. Also, I'd like to thank the Honorable Warren C. Evans and his administrative staff in negotiating with us, seeing that these are hard economic times. All of the electeds for the support of their staff and our membership. And last but most importantly, the staff and the members of GAA who work diligently, who are professional, and even though they're working with short staffing, they continue to serve the people who pay all of our salaries, which is the citizens of Wayne County. So again, I'd like to thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Another card? Is there anyone else in the chambers? We'll go on line. Anyone on Zoom? You have 2 minutes. I see a hand raised for Cunningham. You could unmute everyone online.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
To every commissioner, I just don't feel like you care about the constituent. The constituent, and I'm talking about, is those that write Detroit Department of Transportation. It needs to be some creativity because they need bus drivers. Without bus drivers, folks are waiting 2 hours and a half on Grand River, on Jefferson, on Woodward. It is very, very bad. And I'm sure you don't even have, none of the commissioners have not ridden the bus, which they should, or their staff, Detroit Department of Transportation, after 6 p.m. and on the weekends. It's horrible conditions, horrible conditions. I'd like to say there's a job fair coming up September 13th and September 15th. Everyone on the sound of my voice can go to Facebook and go to Detroit Department of Transportation, and the information will be found there. I don't get paid for this. I'm just advocating for those that are suffering on the bus lines. Commissioners, y'all ain't doing nothing. I passed out flyers last time I came, and I don't even know if you even took it. You know, everybody just out for themselves. Bus service is serious. They're down 80 drivers, and folks are struggling out here in the community. Don't just get a paycheck, do something. Detroit Department of Transportation needs drivers. My name is Cunningham, on Facebook, Cunningham, and hotline number 313-444-9114. I made it simple so you can remember, 313-444-9114. Pitiful, y'all.
Thank you. I do not respond to public comments, but I have to make a clarifying remark. The Wayne County Commission nor Wayne County has any jurisdiction whatsoever over the Detroit Department of Transportation, for the record. No jurisdiction whatsoever over the Detroit Department of Transportation. Next person on Zoom.
But the constituents take the bus. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Next person on Zoom. Robert Pulaski. 2 minutes.
Yep, you got it right. Could I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Robert Pulaski from Southgate, Wayne County. Just a few things I'd like to add. So I want to congratulate Assad Turfi on his nomination today. You know, we brought back another staple in Wayne County, and we are starting to bring things back to where we need to be. You know, on departure of Khalil Rahal and all the great things he's done for this county, I think Assad Turfi will bring the legacy that Khalil Rahal and all the great things to Wayne County, bring the jobs, bring the economic development, and bring the market here to Wayne County. So I just want to congratulate him on his nomination, and I look forward to the best. Two main points I want to put out, and I want to thank Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick on the comment for Northwest Detroit. The senseless acts that have been committed in Northwest Detroit is absolutely, if you had to put it in words, a sad day. And the amount of action that I want to see by the county is absolutely just amazing. And, you know, there's more that needs to be done in the city of Detroit. But I just want to send my prayers out to everyone in Northwest Detroit that had to deal with the senseless acts of people for the lack of their community and do not care about society. So I just want to thank Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick for that. Also, this is the last meeting towards our school year. I know a lot of students go back to school in Wayne County, and it is also the start of football season. So, you know, a lot of teenagers will be out, you know, having fun, partying, but you know, we really need to look at responsible, and the action that was passed earlier this year for texting and driving is a complete life changer, especially to the youth. So I just want to say welcome back to all of our students in Wayne County, but also please be responsible this year, especially our seniors. You know, they have, if you had to put it like this, they are the future of our generation. And I hate to see people lose their lives over texting and driving. But as always, thank you for the time and opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir.
Ride the bus, commissioners.
Is there
Ride. the-
anyone else on Zoom for public comments? Any hands raised for Zoom? Any emails, Madam Clerk?
Yes. I have one ready. Greetings, everyone. I am Mark Ashley Price, a school board member of Highland Park. I did mention this before at a previous meeting that Highland Park needs assistance from the county about a high school and a library if it is possible. Also, the issue of gangs such as Bloods and Crips. I don't know for sure how many gang members in Wayne County there is, but I think it's worth to look at this issue because some young individuals could join gangs, and I am sure no one wants that. Happy Labor Day and much love and peace to everyone. Forever blessed, Wayne County. This one is from Anthony Placia. Earlier this year, a JAMA study was published that showed the crew reporting rates of myocarditis and COVID shot recipients exceeded expected rates across multiple age and sex strata. Toward the end of the study, they admit that actual myocarditis rates per million doses are likely higher than estimated. A study from Thailand monitored 314 adolescents between the ages of 13 and 18 who had received the first dose of Pfizer shot. 13 were lost to follow-up, and the remaining subjects, 202 were boys, after receiving the second dose. 18% of the 301 subjects had abnormal EKG signals, and 7 out of the 202 boys had subclinical myocarditis. And don't forget, earlier in the summer, NBC News reported on a study that showed that 42% of people who had regular menstrual cycles reported more heavy bleeding after being jabbed. Also, Germany, Sweden, Hungary, and California have reported decreased birth rates. With this data in mind, do the COVID-19 shots around like they're safe, sound like they're safe and effective?
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is reconsiderations.
Any reconsiderations? Hearing none. Next item.
Remarks by members.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Commissioner Clark. I'm sorry,
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Scott. Yes.
Can I be first?
Yes, ma'am.
I have some certificates of appreciation, and I'd like to apologize to those that I'm giving them to that they were here so long. I should have asked you if I could have did them earlier.
Absolutely.
If I had only known. All right, so thank you. Thanks again, Madam Chair. In Highland Park, we have had a horrible time since Monday with no lights, and we still don't have any. But we have some staff here at the county who stepped up. And when we called them, they answered. My staff, Robert Davis, and Glenda Johnson. We've been on the phone making calls and that to everyone. But these are some who really stepped up. The Wayne County Sheriff Washington, but he was not able to be here today. And the undersheriff, Mike Jaffer, they were out of town. But we do have a few who have stood the test of this whole meeting to be here. First, I'd like to call on our Homeland Security Director, Mr. Sammer Jaffer. And I will just read one of them. Whereas we are pleased to honor you for your heroic in addressing imminent issues affecting our beloved seniors. Your work on August 30th, 2022 in Highland Park, Michigan, attending to the needs and easing the despair of so many seniors is to be commended. We extend our appreciation for your showing of care, providing security and ensuring that our seniors are attended to with the utmost dignity and respect. To care for those who once cared for us is one of the highest honors. Tia Walker. We present this certificate on September 1 as our expression of celebration and as a record of our respect, signed by yours truly, Martha G. Scott, Wayne County Commission, District 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. It was our pleasure.
Appreciate it. All right, and Mr. Jaffer's wife, I understand, is here. All right. Yes.
That's the undersheriff's one.
Oh, okay, right. I know.
Make sure that's clear.
The sister-in-law. Okay, thank you. I got the wrong information. All right, thank you. Okay, next we would like to honor Nathaniel Mcqueen, Homeland Security Deputy Director. It's just an honor. You just don't know. It's my smallest senior building, but it was the worst of trouble. Yeah, one of my seniors fell and is in the hospital now. I will be having a resolution that all senior buildings must have a generator.
Yes.
All right. So that's coming up real soon.
Very good.
All right. And my next one was Stephen Grady Muhammad,
All right,
Deputy Chief of Staff for the county exec. So I want to thank the county exec for allowing his staff to come and be a part of. And he just kind of organized everybody. Thank you so much, Stephen. Appreciate you. Thank you. And next, Aaron Vincent from Homeland Security. And he used his own equipment to get there.
All right.
So thank you so much. We truly appreciate you. All right, thank you. Department of Public Service. Is Mr. Shea here? He left? Okay. And I know it was a long wait, but tell him we appreciate it. Can you get this to him, please? Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Madam Chair. And as the Chair of Seniors and Veterans, I will be on this, and I need all of your support to help me get these things done for our seniors. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And there's already been talks about what we can do to be proactive when we have these types of disasters, what the government can do, because it is our role in government to protect and serve our citizens. And we're looking forward to some additional conversation on how we can do that here in Wayne County, thinking outside the box.
Say happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
If I may, Commissioner.
Please tell the story.
I just want to thank our leadership. I mean, from the call that comes out to now Deputy County Executive Asad Turfi, to Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Grady, the support we have, I mean, and the coordination to be able to get the DPS, all the departments we have ever since I've been here, I've never seen it so coordinated and leadership directed in the sense that the citizens have the best hand. And I want to thank our Deputy County Executive and Stephen Grady for the support you give us to get the job done. Thank you. And thank you, Commission, for all the support. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Martha Scott. And by the way, the gentleman that came up here, would you stand up, Aaron? That's our logistics chief at the warehouse that's been providing PPE, personal protection equipment to all police, fire, and the county departments. Aaron Vincent, thank you for what you do. That day, he had a vehicle in the shop. He brought his own personal van to pick up water from our good people that Stephen Grady coordinated with at the Detroit missionary. What was it? Detroit Rescue Mission. Aaron, 10 o'clock at night, went to that warehouse, picked up the water, and made sure that the seniors had the water that they needed. Thank you for what you've done that day, Aaron. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Because our employees going above and beyond the call of duty. Absolutely. Did you? Yeah, something additional, Commissioner Scott? I see you still standing.
I can stand up here and just really talk about all the stuff that they really did. It was just awesome.
Yes.
When it's really dark at 10 o'clock and there's no lights in the whole city.
Right.
It was horrible. And it's still horrible. So I'm asking you to write the Public Service Commission and say no to DTE, okay?
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Stephen Muhammad?
Madam Chairwoman, Vice Chair, and to the Commission, I would be remiss if I did not mention my County Executive, Warren Evans, because he gives me the power and ability to pull all of these resources together. And when I came on with the county here, he told me one thing. He said, Stephen, we are one county, one team. So we all work together. So I just really wanted to thank not only them, I want to thank my commissioner for giving us the opportunity to serve these folks, because I've been going over there for the past couple of days. It's very rough, but they are responding, they are banding together, and I support your comments about DTE. What has been done to our county is a travesty, and we need to address it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Steve, for your comments. And for those who don't know, I'm sure everyone knows, the storm, the apartment buildings that where seniors live in, when the storm came through, they don't have backup generators. Therefore, you have seniors living in dark, with no water, with no electricity. They're on high-rise apartments with no type of support whatsoever. And the county executive's office was able to help throughout Wayne County with those senior buildings. So we want to thank them and all their efforts. Thank you, Commissioner Scott, for recognizing the superheroes that we have here in the county who are servicing our seniors in these dire situations. So thank you all so much for your service to our citizens here in Wayne County. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Kinlock.
It's also want to talk about that storm, and I've consistently talked about the lack of real serious response from management, building management owners, and when times of both inclement weather and as well as when there are other circumstances that needs emergency responses. My district has a lot of senior buildings. I visited a number of those buildings. I'd like to also commend my staff for going out when we got pizza and water for those residents, and just heard a number of elected officials, both in the city and around, really responded to try to help these residents. And I would love to work with Commissioner Scott on an ordinance that goes beyond the generators. We need to make sure that we have, which I talked to you about having an emergency response for these facilities. So I'm looking forward to working with the commissioner and bringing a full-fledged ordinance to make sure that these facility management companies and others are responding during times of emergency. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we are still under remarks by members. Any additional remarks by members? All right, well, I have a couple. You all received the email that we have a lot of meetings to have in September for the budget. September 8th will be the last Ways and Means meeting to discuss the technical amendments and the language for the budget, with moving forward to a COW on the 13th of September. That will be a long day. We will do the budget at 11 o'clock. That'll go for an hour and a half. We'll break for lunch. We're going to have lunch catered outside the doors here, and then we'll come back because we now have the Oracle contracts for the ERP system, which we've been waiting on, and that is a total of about 5 different contracts that we will discuss in the afternoon. So that will go from 1 until we have all of our questions answered and flush that out. And if that passes, it'll go to the September 15th full board, both the budget and the ERP contracts. So set your schedule, clear it for the 13th, because we'll be here for a long day working on those 2 issues. And then after those issues, we have the medical examiner's office issue with Wayne State. That'll be coming as well. And what I'm proposing is to do a special full board meeting as opposed to having a COW, then a full board. Just have a special full board meeting where we'll discuss, get all of our questions answered, however long, how many hours that takes. And then after the end of that meeting, if we're satisfied, we'll go ahead and vote on the medical examiner's contract. And that is tentatively scheduled for the 22nd, but they still need to get it to our queue by next Tuesday or so, have our staff review it. And if it's ready for us on the 22nd, we'll have a special meeting to dispose of that item so that they can begin work on October 1st. That's all that I have. Hearing no other remarks by members.